Zepbound, Wegovy, Manjaro, Ozempic, Saxenda, all of these drugs are powerful. They are powerful and they work for the most part, right? Everybody that I know, for the most part, they work for them. But what happens when they stop working? Or what happens when you can't get them, right? When you can no longer get that medication? Hello, that's what we're going to talk about today. Hello, bold, brave, and brilliant ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to Zepbound Journey with Ange. I'm Angela Durant. My friends call me Ange, and you can too. And I have been on this journey almost a year. Can you believe it? Almost 1 year. In a couple of weeks. In a couple of weeks, I will have been on this journey for a year. I'm down about 68 pounds or so, kind of plateaued. I'm trying to push to get down some more. I'd love to be down 100, like many of my friends. But this is our journey, right? And everybody's journey is different. I missed you guys. I haven't talked to you in a while, so I missed you guys. I'm excited about this post, and I wanted to update you because there's been a little bit of drama. It's been a little bit of drama. One of my biggest fears is that one, I can't get the medication, or I would say the first one is my insurance won't cover it, right? So right now I'm good. When I first started, my insurance did not cover it. So that was a concern that, what happens if our health insurance changes and that new provider doesn't cover it. So that was one of my biggest concerns. Another big concern is the shortage. What happens if we just can't get it, right? We can't get it. I've never been on a compound. I guess I would try it if I had to, if my doctor gave me the thumbs up for it. But I don't like the idea of giving myself that needle. I like the pen. So that's a concern of mine. And then the other concern is what happens if the food noise starts coming back, right? You go off of it and you regain all the weight, right? So that's another big concern of mine. As I've mentioned on many of my videos, I think I'm a tough case. I think I definitely have the disease of obesity. And I think that without the medication, I would regain all the weight. I need to be on that medication and I need it to work well for me. And so what happens if you can't get it? Well, I want to talk to you about that today because that was a big challenge that I recently had. So before I jump into that, I do want to say thank you to all of you kind people. This is such a sweet and wonderful community. Everybody's so caring and compassionate and kind here. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for those of you who have left me comments and reached out. I really appreciate that. Love you guys. I'm somebody who has struggled with her weight like most of my life. Since age 7, I've gone up, I've gained weight, and I've been heavier than most of my friends. And so, I've been on this journey for a year after trying everything else. And it was the first time that I remember doing something that helped me fight the disease of obesity that wasn't intrusive, that didn't feel like a heavy lift, that didn't feel like, I'm trying to climb this insurmountable, mountain, right? So I really appreciated getting the medication and being on it. And I think it's been wonderful. I have nothing but really positive things to say. But I know that isn't the same story for everybody. And I want to be sensitive to that. I'm going to do another video about some severe side effects I want to talk to you about. But for this video, I really want to dive into the topic at hand. I want to talk to you about when you can't get the medication, because, my friends, that happened to me. And I was without the medication for maybe about 10 days. And here's what happened. So I go to my doctor. I think I posted when I went to her. I went to my doctor. She wanted me to build more muscle. And while I was there, I said, I have a friend who just told me that she's getting mail order. Like, she doesn't even have to go to the pharmacy to get medication. She's getting mail order. So can you sign me up for that? Like, just have them delivered to my house, right? She's like, sure, no problem. So she goes into her little computer and she goes, okay, we're gonna set you up for mail order. Done. I leave there and I'm waiting. I wait for about a week. Now, for those of you who have been following me, you know that my son was playing around with one of my pens, bent the needle, and that got wasted, right? So I just happened to have a 12.5 because I'm now on 15 milligrams, the highest dose. And I took the 12.5, right? And then I was like, well, I should be okay because my doctor just put in the mail order. I just wait for the mail order to come in. So I waited and I waited. And some of the other medications came in via mail order, but not not the Zepbound. The Zepbound did not come. And I was like, I wonder what's going on, why it's not coming. Then I get a letter in the mail saying you can no longer get Zepbound. Like there's some it says something like go to your pharmacy for the Zepbound. We couldn't deliver it, something like that. So I call up my pharmacy and say, I need my prescription for Zepbound. They're like, yeah, I see something here. And I was going to Wegmans, the grocery store pharmacy, to get it. So then they call me back and say, there's an issue with Zepbound. I'm like, well, what's the issue? What's the problem? I always get it from here. And they said, if you get it from us, you're going to pay full rate, the full price. Like it's not a discounted price. So I was like, what do you mean? I always get it from here. Like, is my savings card not good? Like, what's going on? And they said, no, it's just your insurance won't cover it. So I was like, but I got a letter, a pre-authorization letter, a renewal saying that they would cover it through August or something like that. So I say, okay. So I call my insurance provider and they say, oh, you got to go with CVS. You got to go to CVS and get it. So I call CVS to get it. And they say, well, we don't have the prescription. Wegmans has the prescription, right? So now I'm like, okay, like I'm getting the runaround here now. Now I'm going back and forth. So I call Wegmans and say, can you send over the prescription to CVS? And they're like, sure, no problem. So they send over the prescription to CVS, right? And CVS they're like, okay, we'll fill it for you. They try to fill it. They call me back and I'm like, everything good? They're like, everything's not good. It's locked. It's saying, we see the prescription there. We see that you're eligible for it, but your insurance company put a lock on your account and it's saying, no, you can't get it. I'm like, what? What do you mean I can't get it? What do you mean? Like, what's going on here? So I called the insurance company. And after like 45 minutes on hold, them trying to lift the lock and do all the things. And I said, well, what happened? And they said it must have been because you had that Wegmans was already trying to refill your prescription, right? They were trying to fill it. And then your doctor put in for a mail order one. So maybe they saw like 2 in the system. I don't know. And then they saw you try to transfer it to CVS. So they were like, shut it down. So I was like, oh, but I said, but I didn't have, I'm due. Like I'm overdue. Like I should have taken my medication like 5 days ago. And they said, we understand that you never filled the prescription, but in the system, it looks like it's shut down until the end of February, which would have been a whole nother month for me, right? I'm like, oh no, we can't wait till February. Like we need our medication now because already, and I'll talk to you about how it's feeling. I felt like I needed my medication. So long story short, after going back and forth, I'm trying to figure everything out. Long story short, come to find out, they said you can't go to either one of these pharmacies for your GLP-1 medication. You have to go to the specialty pharmacy to get your medication. I was like, what? Specialty pharmacy? Nobody sent me a letter. Nobody notified me of that. They're like, oh, that was effective October 2024. I said, well, I've been getting my medication every month. I got my medication October, November, December, no problem. And they said, well, it changed and you have to only get it through the specialty pharmacy. And I was like, well, where's the specialty pharmacy? Right. Well, thankfully, it was not too far. It's within driving distance. So I was like, okay. So I reached out to them and they said, well, we can fill it, but we need the script. So I called CVS, who now has the script from Wegmans. Wegmans sent it to CVS, and I was calling CVS and saying, can you send it to the specialty pharmacy? And they're like, well, we don't normally do that unless the doctor calls us and requests it. I was like, please, I've been trying to get this medication, please. They're like, okay, give me the fax number or where to send it, and I'll send over the medication for you, right? So they send it, and I call the pharmacy, the specialty pharmacy, back again. And I talked to somebody else. The first person I talked to said, well, only your doctor can send the script. You can't have another pharmacy send it to us. So I was like, please. So I talked to a second person and she goes, oh, yeah. If they send it, we'll do it. So I'm having them send it. And then I call them back. It's like 2 minutes after 5 o'clock. After all this, I'm on the phone all day. Right? I call them back. It's like 2 minutes after 5. And what happens? The answering service answers. And they're like, I'm sorry, the office is now closed. This is the after hours answering service. I'm like, are you kidding me? So long story short, we put it in. And then the next day I called them. I talked to them and I said, now, how does this work? Like, how do I get it? And they said, well, we deliver it to you. And of all your medications, none of them have to go through the specialty pharmacy, only the GLP-1 medications, like only the GLP-1 medications come through here. And I was like, oh, so my other medications I get at the pharmacy. And they're like, yes, just the GLP-1. And we either ship it to you, I think FedEx or UPS, they ship it to you and somebody has to sign for it, or and they leave it on ice for you, or they deliver it to you. Right. So she's like, which one do you want? I was like, deliver it to me. I work from home so that, you can deliver it to me. So that's what happened. And then finally, it took a couple more days and I finally got, so altogether I was probably without it for about 10 days. Super nice guy who delivered it. He's like, I'm your guy. I'm going to be delivering your medicine. There are other people in your building who I deliver medicine for. I was like, oh, okay. So you know yourself, your way around, the desk. We have a 24-hour staff desk here. So he's like, yeah, I can leave it for you at the desk. They know me. So I was like, okay, great. So I rushed to my apartment and I get myself all ready and I give myself the medication. And so I'm good now. I'm back on it. I have my medication. I'm on 15 milligrams. And I want to talk about how I did when I didn't have it, because this was the first time in a year that I really went without it because I always had it. And for me, I definitely felt the cravings come back. For sure. I wasn't able to, before I could like work all day and not eat. Like I could just, I knew I had to eat, so I would stop and have lunch and all, but I could work and not be distracted by head hunger. That was not the case without it. And I know some people say, well, it's still in your system for like a month after you stop taking it. I don't know where the guard was, right? There's usually a guard guarding the door, shutting out all the head hunger, all the food noise. That guard was at the beach, right? That guard was skiing in Denver, right? He was in Colorado on the slopes. He was not on his post, right? He was not on his post. And I was getting cravings again. And I was starting to worry that without the medication, am I going to struggle again? Is it going to be white knuckling this whole journey again? Like what is going to happen without it? I have not been on a scale. Y'all know when I think I gain weight, I avoid the scale like the plague. So I know what you're going to say. Ange, be bold, be brave, be brilliant, and get on the scale. Be on the scale. Right? So I have to do that. I know I owe you guys that because I need to do an update. But yeah, I started getting cravings again and I wanted to eat. And I was standing there like, what can I have? Like, and I was like, no, I don't want that. I don't want that feeling to come back. And that's that feeling that most of us understand, that a lot of people who don't struggle with the disease of obesity, they don't get it. They're like, I eat, I'm satisfied. That's it. Like food is not my life. So I'm back on the medication. I'm back on 15. I'm going to create another video. I want to talk about side effects and some severe ones. I want to talk about that too. But I hope that all of you are doing well. I want to, before I wrap up, I do want to say that remind you about the retreat. The retreat is still open. If you're interested in coming, I will put a link in the show notes for you. I would love for you to come. Many of you are like, you didn't tell me. I wanted to come. A few people are like, I want to come. When is it? So it is going to be, we're doing a welcome reception on February 28th, that Friday night, 7 p.m. And then we're going to spend the day together on the 1st of March. So if you're somebody who's looking for a community, you're looking to connect with people, you want to meet us in live, it's one thing being on YouTube, it's another thing, when I can hug your neck, right? I'm a hugger. So if you don't like that, just say, Ange, please, don't, please don't. But yeah, I'm looking forward to meeting some of you in person. I'm looking forward to just us spending time together, learning and growing together. I think it's going to be fantastic, fantastic. So if you haven't booked your ticket, I will put the link. Book your ticket. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? So for some of you who are driving up, you may not come for the Friday night, but come for Saturday. We'd love to have you. So I want to tell you about that. And then finally, again, I welcome all of your comments, your any comments or advice or questions you might have around GLP-1 medications. Always feel free to ask. I still have a ton of responses, but I respond to all of them. But I still have a bunch of them that I need to get back to. We've had some family challenges too here, which I'll tell you guys when I go live. I'll talk to you about that. But I do respond to all of them. So please feel free. I love your questions. I love your comments. I love the engagement. So please feel free to do that. And if you're not subscribed, why not? Why are you not subscribed? Please subscribe, share it with your friends, hit that notification bell so that you know when I go live, because I do go live sporadically. So you'll get notified when we do that. And I love going live with you guys. So with that, I'm going to close it out. I now have my medication. Whew, happy about that. And I hope you guys had an incredible weekend. If any of you are Eagles fans, I know you had a fantastic weekend. We sure did here. We're rooting for the Eagles. I'm a Philly girl, right? So they're my team. Since the Patriots lost Brady, I used to love the Patriots because of Brady. But I'm an Eagles fan. So hopefully you guys had a chance to enjoy that too. And with that, I want you to go out there. I want you to be bold, because it takes boldness to be on the journey that we're on, right? I want you to be brave, because it takes courage to show up and shine, right? And just advocate for yourself. Advocate for yourself. And I want you to be brilliant, because you absolutely are. You absolutely are. I'm sure people say you got to glow. There's something special about you, right? They notice something, right? I know it took me losing like 50 pounds for people to notice I was losing weight. They were like, did you do something different with your hair? You just have this glow about you. I'm like, it's called GLP-1 medication. So be bold, be brave, be brilliant. Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for stopping by. Take care. Bye for now. Bye, guys.